Welcome to Two Tipsy Plants, where we drink booze and discuss wine. My name is Sasha.
That's not how it goes, but okay. My name is Sasha.
And today, we also will talk about the plants. Today, our episode will be based on... Sasha, would you mind reminding me about it?
So in this episode, we will be talking about plants in pop culture, in TVs, in games, in series. Yeah. But obviously, before we start, Sasha, the most important thing, what are we having today?
What are we having today? Today, you brought an interesting bottle of Trinity Hill Merlot Hawke's Bay, because we're still supporting Hawke's Bay. Vintage is 2020. Yeah, Merlot is a very easy drink for people who... Honestly, if you don't like wine and you want to start drinking wine, Merlot is very approachable. It's quite fruity. It's very heavy though.
It is, but it depends where it's from. Yeah.
All right, let's crack in.
That's a big glass.
Don't judge me.
We are recording a bit later during the day today as well, so, I mean, it's 5 p.m. somewhere. Also, it's Saturday, so who cares?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see what Wine Folly tells about this wine.
Ooh. Also, my wine has a little sprinkle of either Wonders or Seeker's hair in it. Sasha has two lovely cats.
It's a special touch from our host.
Yeah. To be honest, I have two cats at home as well, and you just get so used to having fur every freaking where. And your food and your drinks in your cracks in your body.
In your everything.
Yeah.
Merlot. Similar to the previous episode that we have discussed the wine, because it was Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Malbec blend, will be similar notes. Cherry, plum, chocolate, dry herbs, and vanilla. Sasha, what do you taste?
Honestly, I am so used to Merlot, because Merlot is my go-to drink. So, I don't know. It's actually a nice Merlot, because I usually go for Australian Merlot, not New Zealand Merlot, but that's nice.
Australian Merlot will be a bit more heavy on alcohols. Definitely will be a bit,
It's richer, definitely, but this is nice. I like the like, it smells quite creamy to me.
Yeah, vanilla.
Yeah. Ooh, I love vanilla.
So yeah, one of our listeners, subscribers, followers have advised us to let you guys know what kind of food it actually pairs with as well sometimes. I know that the person have mentioned that it should be paired with edible plants, but I'm sorry, edible plants episode was already gone.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, you could think about not plants per se, but like vegetables, which is a plant as well that you can pair it with.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like this would go with
Eggplant.
Yes, the first thing that popped into my mind was a buttered zucchini or eggplant, like, because they are very similar. Yeah.
Otherwise, pork shoulder, roasted mushrooms, braised short ribs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
With a beautiful chimichurri sauce.
Yes.
All right. That is the wine pairings. Let me just taste it.
Oh, haven't you tasted it yet?
It's lovely. Slightly on a drier side. Like, it has a bit of dryness to it. Like spiciness.
Yeah, but it's not
like,
very...
As in a spice. Like cinnamon. You know, like if you have like a mouthful of cinnamon, how it dries your mouth sometimes?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes, because when we were young and stupid, we did cinnamon challenge, and that was fun.
I think we did it wrong, though, but we've done a really funny video.
I definitely did it wrong. Everybody else was correct.
Yeah. Anyway, because you're not a big fan of Merlot, aren't you?
True and untrue. I like Merlot for the flavor, but it is a boring wine.
It is, hence I go for it, because it's very difficult to get a wrong Merlot. So if you want literally, it's Friday, you don't want to go out, but you still want to get pissed, you get yourself a bottle of Merlot, somewhere around $12 to $15 a bottle, get yourself some ice cream, put on your favorite TV show, or in my case, I usually play video games, and yeah, that's my Friday. Perfect Friday.
It is very hard to screw up the Merlot.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start with our episode. Sasha, will you hit it off?
How do you want to go about it? Because mine are, I know yours are mostly the plants from Harry Potter.
Shh, spoilers.
My plants are from
Different universes?
Yes. So if you want, I can start with mine and then we can go one by one as we usually do. Okay. So I've got a couple plants from the Hunger Games.
Ooh.
When was the last time you saw the show?
Well, shit. That would be probably at least 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But the first thing that comes to my mind when you say plants from Hunger Games is the berries that they were trying to eat.
So that's one of the things, yes. But we will start with the actual name of the main character.
Katniss?
Katniss Everdeen. Did you know that Katniss is actually a plant?
Did you know that tetanus is actually a condition?
No, Katniss.
I know. That was me trying to be funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll work on that.
Sasha has a unique sense of humor.
It's called Daddy's sense of humor.
Anyway, yeah, so Katniss is actually a real plant. It is a plant that grows in the water. The Latin name for its genus is Sagittaria, which is, the Sagittarius, the zodiac sign. That also means, the name derives from the shape of the leaf because it looks like an arrow. So
fun.
Yeah, so it is also known as an arrowhead.
So it was very well suited for the name and very thought through.
Because the main character, she's like a survivor, she just freaking piddles through all the obstacles that she has. Her name is inspired by this plant because apparently that plant is a stubborn plant and it's very difficult to kill it.
Perfect choice of name.
Yeah, but then if we go to the berries as well. So what do you think the berries are?
What do you mean?
The berries that they were trying to eat?
Okay. Those, either nightshade or belladonna.
Just a quick reminder to, if you've forgotten where the berries appeared. So when Katniss and Peter decided to stay alive together, the berries first appeared when they were hunting and they got separated for a bit and then the cannon sounded. And Katniss got scared that it was Peter, so she started looking for him, and he had the berries in his hand, but he was alive, so she was like, oh no, that's Nightlock. Like, it will kill you in a second. And then they found another candidate, I can't remember the name of the candidate, who clearly have eaten some of those berries, and she had berries in her hand. So they've actually saved those berries. Well, Katniss did save the berries. And then, so fast forward, two of them left, and then they said that, no, we can only have one victor. So they had to kill each other.
Yeah,
one had to kill another. They refused to fight and they've decided to eat the berries. But then while they were about to eat the berries, both of them, the game stopped and they said, oh, we have two victors now.
Yeah, so, and then 5 more movies after that.
Yeah. So Nightlock, apparently it is possibly a mixture of both nightshade and hemlock.
Oh.
Yeah, so they've created their own plant, but it is inspired by nightshade and hemlock, hence Nightlock. Yeah, which is quite interesting.
It's quite interesting. Plus, as far as I remember, Hunger Games has a lot of, not genetically modified items in there, but some crazy stuff.
I honestly can't remember. I actually had to rewatch some of the clips on YouTube just to remind myself where that plant was. Yeah.
Yeah. That is definitely a fun detail.
Yeah. Well, do you know what's interesting as well? If you try to Google plants in pop culture, it's not that easy to find them. So I actually had to kind of think about where I saw the plants, except for the Harry Potter ones. Harry Potter ones, they appear everywhere.
I mean, it is a very niche topic, I would say.
Yeah, but also quite a few plants appear in the series. Yeah. But talking of Harry Potter, take it away.
All right. I was thinking maybe I'll start with Monstera, but it's fine. We can finish on Monstera. Let's do Harry Potter. Do you want to talk about the plants in Harry Potter that are real or that are not real? Or should I actually ask you if you think that they are real or not real?
Yeah, go for it. I specifically did not read on any plants just because I knew that you will be covering them, so I've decided not to even have a sneak peek. Because for those, actually, we did have that question on our Instagram. Our podcast is not scripted. So what we do, what Sasha and I do, we select a topic, which is, plants in pop culture, games and movies. And we do our own research. We usually sometimes indicate the areas that we are covering just so we don't double up, because sometimes we do. And then, we just discuss it during our podcast. So, I just knew that you will be talking about Harry Potter plants. So,
I will start this plant with a quote from Harry Potter. Potter, what are you doing here? I'm in your class, Professor Snape. Obviously. What is the difference, Potter, between the monk's hood and wolfsbane?
And then Hermione's like throwing your hand in the air, trying to answer it. I honestly can't remember.
Yeah. So what is the difference between the wolfsbane and the monk's hood?
So I know that wolfsbane is real. It is a real plant. But the other one, I'm not sure if it's real or not.
So because Snape is such an asshole, it was a trick question because it is the same plant.
Oh, that's right.
So
just two different names for one plant.
Yes.
Yeah.
So monk's hood, wolfsbane, or aconite, same plant.
Mm-hmm.
The real life it's a real plant. It's poisonous, and it's mentioned in series so many times.
It's not only mentioned in Harry Potter. It's been like in other
it will
series
be like
and
in
games.
every series. Just because of the name of wolfsbane, it's going to be in everything that has lycanthropy or anything that has like werewolves.
Yeah.
But yeah. Turn to page 394. And if you turn to page 394, it will speak of aconite, which is the same thing. But that's from different. So the first quotation was from the first movie/book.
Yeah.
The second quotation about turning the page, third book, when he was trying to hint to everybody about Professor Lupin being a werewolf and how to identify a werewolf.
And obviously Hermione being so clever, she got it. Yeah. So wolfsbane, I'm assuming the real life plant, the plant in real life is poisonous as well, isn't it?
Aconite, wolfsbane, and monkhood, same plant, just 3 different names, highly poisonous and toxic, and be careful.
Is that a tree?
No. I think it's a bush.
I can't remember, but I have a feeling that it's a tree, but okay, don't quote us on that, please.
I think it's an herb.
Okay, cool. That's nice. My next plant is from... Or do you want to cover another one?
No.
My next plant is from Game of Thrones. It's quite a niche. I can't even remember what episode it's from, but it's quite a small scene in the whole series. But why I found it quite interesting. So, do you remember? Dario and Harris?
I can't remember the names of the characters.
So he's from the Slavers Bay in Essos. So he was trying to present flowers to Daenerys. And she got quite angry at him because he had like a bouquet small bouquet behind his back, and he was like, "This is a blue rose. I can't remember the name of the flower, and this is that flower, and this is that flower." So she got quite angry. She's like, "Are you trying to woo me?" And then he was just saying that you can make a tea out of this blue rose, but you can't make tea out of this plant, let's say. So he was just trying to explain that if you want to be a queen in this area, you need to know this area. So one of the plants was called Happy's Gold, and Happy's Gold was like a poisonous plant. So he was saying that out of this rose you can make a tea, but no tea out of this one because it has poisonous.
And do they look similar?
They don't, but the plant itself, it looks a little bit alien, but I'll show you a picture of it. I don't know if you can see. I can't zoom in, but that's the picture of it.
Aww.
And it is a real life plant.
Yeah.
So the plant that they used for the Happy's Gold flower is actually a leucospermum, which is a real life plant. It is from South Africa. It does look quite interesting and fantastic, like from fantasy.
Don't forget to post it on Instagram so our subscribers can actually see it.
Yes, and I will also post all of my notes on our Reddit page as well. Yeah, and I found it quite interesting because those plants like Proteus and Leucospermums and Leucadendrons, they look quite alien, but at the same time they look quite, fantasy inspired. So they've used that plant. Yeah, and I found it quite interesting. But it is a real-life plant, Leucospermum, that is also known as nodding pincushion.
All right. Okay, I will try to test your ability for identifying the plants and knowing the plants.
Okay.
Phoradendron or Loranthaceae species.
Say what?
Either Phoradendron or Loranthaceae.
Yeah, but what am I identifying?
What is the common name for those plants?
Common name for those plants from Harry Potter.
No, it's a hint. It's a real plant.
I don't know, mandrake?
Nah, that's it's fine. I'm just being an asshole. It's a mistletoe.
Okay, yeah.
Why there are different names? Because one of them is American mistletoe and the other one is Australian mistletoe.
But all of them are a bitch.
Mistletoe has a long and fascinating history in mythology and folklore. In many cultures, mistletoe was considered a sacred plant with powerful and healing properties, and was used in various rituals and ceremonies. In Harry Potter, if you remember, mistletoe was...
It appeared in the Room of Requirements, yes, when Cho and Harry were about to kiss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pervy sentient room.
Yeah. It's funny because mistletoe is also it's a strangler plant. It can actually strangle other plants and trees and stuff. So it's funny how sometimes people find something romantic in plants that are actually quite a menace. Yeah.
Oh, fun fact. Mistletoe berries are another ingredient mentioned in Harry Potter books, specifically in the potion of Felix Felicis.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what is Felix Felicis?
Yes, it's the lucky...
Liquid luck.
Liquid luck, there you go. I know Harry Potter from back to front 100 times, so yes, I know.
Also...
Speaking of the names that are inspired by the plants as well, there was Narcissa Malfoy. Yeah, and that's probably also from Narcissus the plant.
Narcissus is a genus of flowering plants in the Amaryllidaceae family that includes various species, such as Narcissus poeticus, commonly known as the poet daffodil. The name Narcissus is derived from Greek as narcissos, which means numbness and sleep.
And we've actually covered it in our previous episode. We did talk about Narcissus in there before. So
over there we have talked about narcissism, like as a Narcissus, as the guy who was self-obsessed.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, at least this source of information, implies that Narcissus has the name root as narcosis.
Like narcotic sort of
as in
state.
Numbness, sleep, drowsy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Go.
Okay. My next plant actually appears in quite a number of different worlds, fantasy worlds. But the two that I've chosen are the Skyrim and Dungeons and Dragons, believe it or not.
The movie or the...
Well, the whole Forgotten Realms. Yep. So, Dragon's Tongue. Do you think it's real or not?
Well, judging by how you're looking at me, it's probably real.
Well, there is a Dragon's Tongue that is a real plant, but it looks nothing like the magical plants from both Skyrim and D&D. The real life plant is actually, it is a house plant in New Zealand. So it's like green wavy leaves with purple underlay. I personally don't really like the way it looks. It just looks like grass.
It is grass. Isn't it Tillandsia?
No, that's a hemigraphus? Hemigraphus?
It looks like an outdoor flex that you would...
Hemigraphus repanda, Dragon's Tongue.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Dragon's Tongue in Skyrim and D&D kind of looks like that.
Nothing.
Yeah, so it's completely different. It like the one from Skyrim kind of looks like an orchid sort of shaped flower on a stem growing from the ground. It is used in the game. It is used, if I'm not wrong, to buff your fire illusion spells, I think.
Fire illusion spells.
Yeah.
Fire/illusion spells.
Yeah. And in D&D, it is used to deal fire damage. Like you cook it first and then you cook it for 1d4 hours and the spicy pepper deals a 2d8 fire damage to the creature that eats it and gives them 1 free first level casting of Burning Hands.
Ooh.
Yeah, you might want to use that for your character.
Thank you for giving me a heads up about that.
So
But also, no wonder. Dragon's tongue, burning hands.
yeah. So yeah, I couldn't find whether it was inspired by a real life plant or not, but then I had thought, what if those plants that, have fiery leaves are actually inspired by New Zealand's very own horopito, the pepper tree, Pseudointra colorata, because it's a native plant that grows in New Zealand, and if you actually nibble on the leaf, it is quite peppery, and you can cook with it as well. So I did wonder if that was inspired by that, but
My train of thought went completely wrong direction with
Okay.
the dragon's tongue.
yeah.
Dragon's tongue and burning hands, because it could be inspired by just a chili pepper and somebody was just like preparing or cooking with it, and then why it's burning hands because you were not supposed to touch things that you touched after chili.
Oh my God, like if Daria, if you are listening to our podcast, I grow my own peppers at home. So I have habanero, I have brown ghost, and I have, I think, bird's eye as well. So
I remember the story, I think.
yeah, I use this chopping board because we have like 4 different chopping boards. So one's for veggies, one's for fish, and so on. I use this chopping board for veggies to cut the. I can't remember if it was the ghost or the habanero. I cut it, I washed it, and then I washed it again. And then Daria came over and she brought a watermelon. Yeah, she used the same chopping board, and the freaking watermelon was hot. So I've washed it again, and I don't know how many washes it took to actually wash out that pepper from the board, but maybe 10. So yeah, I should have like a separate one for my hot peppers because I love hot food.
I cast burning board.
It deals, I don't know, 1d4 damage.
Roll initiative.
Yep. Yeah, so that's me.
Alrighty. The next plant will be valerian root.
Well, it is obviously. Okay, we are from like the Slavic part of Europe, right? And I think that valerian root is like one of the plants.
Grandma's staples.
It's always in our first aid kit. Yeah, so yes, valerian root is real, but I can't remember what it's been used for in...
Coming.
Yeah, but what is it used in Harry Potter for?
Funny enough, drafts of living death potion. So super coming.
Okay, too much calming.
Yes. It's a real plant and is also mentioned in Harry Potter books as an ingredient in Draft of the Living Death. It is a perennial herb that is native to Europe and Asia, and it has a long history of use in traditional medicine as a natural remedy for anxiety, insomnia, and similar conditions.
Well, I can vouch for it that it does work. Like, if you feel anxious or if you can't fall asleep, a couple of pills of valerian root extract, and there you go. Sweet dreams.
Go to your native local apothecary and ask about.
Yeah, but you can also get like those easy sleep pills from the chemist, sort of sleep support, which has passion flower in it and valerian. This is actually a topic that we were thinking about discussing with you as well.
Yeah.
The plants and their medicinal
uses.
Uses?
Essentially, homeopathy and the plants.
Yeah. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Let's go.
Okay, my next plant, I'm sort of switching on to the Lord of the Rings, the very New Zealand sort of universe, just because it was filmed in here. But are you familiar with Lord of the Rings? I know you are not a very big fan of
I'm not the
it.
biggest fan of it, but I've seen it.
Have you seen The Hobbit as well?
Yes.
Like, I absolutely love Lord of the Rings universe as well. I'm just a geek.
I
Actually,
think I
both of
prefer
us are
Hobbit.
geeks.
I think I prefer Hobbit, though, over the Lord of the Rings. It's just a better production, I think.
Well, obviously, because it was actually made
And now people are
later.
going to just stone me for that.
Do you know what a pipeweed is?
Is it for smoking? Is it tobacco?
Well, so there is a debate, right? If it's a tobacco, Nicotiana, or whether it's actually marijuana. And Tolkien himself...
Or it could be, here's a third debate. It could, what is that? Opium.
Oh, I doubt it is. So Tolkien himself said that it's not weed. It actually is tobacco. But it is obviously a special tobacco from that universe that was specifically smoked by hobbits of the Shire.
Ah.
So that's why you see, when you watch The Hobbit, Bilbo always smoked that tobacco, and then you also see Gandalf smoking
Yeah, he is
the
a close friend
pipeweed.
of hobbits.
Yeah, so Gandalf actually learned to smoke pipeweed from the hobbits. Yeah. But also, what I found quite interesting as well is there are a lot of plants in Lord of the Rings universe, but most of them are not real plants. They are fantasy plants. But what I found as well is that some of the names of the people and characters from Lord of the Rings are actually inspired by plants in real life. So hobbits of the Bree, or people of the Bree, most of their names are actually inspired by plants. So for example, Barliman Butterbur, his first name, Barliman, is inspired by barley, which is main ingredient of for the beer, right? And Butterbur is actually a real life plant, which is a large, stout wayside herb of northwestern Europe. And there are a couple of other plant-based surnames in Brie, included Ferny, Goatleaf, Heathertoes, Rushlight, Thistlewool, and Mugwort.
Shall we also address that their village name is Brie?
Brie the cheese?
Yes.
Yeah, they did they have wine in there? They probably should have wine in there.
They should have a charcuterie board.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Asphodelias. Do we know what is asphodelias? Onion-leaved asphodel, also known as onion weed.
Mm-hmm.
It is a plant that is mentioned in Harry Potter books. In books, it is mentioned as ingredient for the draft of living death. There will yes, there will be a lot of ingredients. Like apparently, out of all the plants, all the potions and recipes, you definitely have the most of the ingredients mentioned for the potion of living death.
Was the potion of living death ever used in the movie?
No, I mean it was taught once by the Slughorn. It is a powerful potion that induces deep coma. Nice.
So I guess the onion weed, the potion of death, you eat a lot of onions and then you breathe on someone.
In Greek mythology, asphodel was associated with the afterlife and was often planted on graves.
Oh, so interesting. So they've actually taken that aspect of the plant, the mythology behind the plant, and then used it as a thing, because, it's the afterlife, and then they used it as a potion of death, the draft of death ingredient. That's interesting.
Another interesting fact, it actually says that the plant was believed to have healing properties and was used in traditional medicine to treat a variety of ailments, including respiratory problems and digestive issues.
So I guess the logic behind it was, okay, we'll use it on you. If it helps, good. If it doesn't, bye-bye, go to afterlife.
I think that's how Neanderthals have discovered, okay, this plant is edible because you're still alive. You may shit a little, but still alive.
Yeah. My turn?
Yes.
So the next one that I have, and I think we've actually talked about it with you before, is the infamous Wednesday Addams, the series that we recently released. So in Wednesday, when Morticia was accused of being... Okay, sorry, spoilers here. If you haven't watched it, please don't listen to us talk about it for the next 5 minutes.
Also, a side note, if you are listening to us, you're probably a geek, and if you're a geek, what are you doing here? Go and watch it already.
It is a good series, though. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, so when Morticia was accused by the officer for killing her lover, I can't remember his name now.
The guy who was obsessed with her rather than a lover.
Yeah, he was obsessed with her, that's right. So she was accused for killing him, but actually what happened is he had nightshade poisoning, and he sort of went
delirious.
feral. Yeah, and he attacked her and Gomez, yes, and he fell off the roof, pretty much. So the way they found out about the poisoning, right, is they actually dug up the grave of the person who was killed, and they kept his finger. Well, Wednesday kept his finger, and the finger had bluish tint on it, and that's how they sort of deducted that it is nightshade poisoning. So the deadly nightshade from real life, it is a poisonous plant,
But it doesn't do that.
No.
Complete bullshit.
No, it won't give you the blue fingers. Although it looked quite blue in the series, but like if you think about it, if the body had very little oxygen in it, your fingertips would turn blue. But yeah, it's not a typical sort of thing to have if you have nightshade
but also
poisoning.
It was like a very neon blue, so I don't think it's...
Yeah, well, yeah, it was almost glowing, wasn't it? Yeah. But yeah, it is a real life plant. It's just not as poisonous as it is in the series. And also, I think you need to consume it rather than, because what happened to that guy? He had like a little vial of it in his pocket, and then it crashed, and then it sort of got absorbed through his skin.
Yeah.
I think you'll have just like a very serious reaction
you might have
to
irritation.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it. Of course, that's a fictional thing.
And also, the nightshade poisoning usually takes like hours maybe before it kicks in. Well, depending on the amount of nightshade that you consume.
As in every poison.
Yeah, but in the series, it was like the matter of
seconds,
a few seconds, yeah.
But yeah, it's essentially a little nod towards our episodes that we had at what doesn't kill you makes you eat it. Because we have discussed nightshade in there as well.
Yeah, because there are edible nightshades. Also, like tomatoes are also edible nightshades.
Also, the varieties of a deadly nightshade, which is there are edible ones.
Yeah. Please don't eat them.
Please don't eat them. It's very hard to differentiate which one is edible and which one is not. Okay, Sasha, wormwood, real or not?
Wormwood, as in worm.
As in a wormy worm.
I would say it is real. I don't know why, but I think it is real because it just rings a bell.
Is real? Rings a bell? I'll stop.
Rings a glass?
It's fine. I go home.
You are home.
Wormwood is a plant, and it's real.
Yeah.
That is mentioned several times in Harry Potter books. It is a bitter-tasting herb that is used in the brewing of various magical potions. And, spoiler alert, it is also used in brewing of a lot of liquors in real life, which is going to be discussed later on in our episodes.
Okay, interesting.
It is mentioned as ingredient in a polyjuice potion. Which allows the drinkers to take on the appearance of someone else. That's just in case if you have no idea what is a polyjuice potion. Also, it is a part of a... What potion, Sash? What is the potion that we have been talking for the past several...
Oh, the Drought of Death?
Yeah, Drought of Living Death.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh my gosh. And
everything is like, I think you just mix everything, like all the plants from Harry Potter, and then there you go, you have the Drought of Death.
Well, if you want to die, just go into the Whooping Willow and that's it.
Oh, all that, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know why the like, going a bit off topic here, but do you know what is the story behind the Whooping Willow? Okay, so you do have it in your list. Okay.
Also, just a scientific name for the wormwood is Artemisia absinthium.
Absinthium.
Absinthium. Wink, wink, hint, hint.
Absinthe.
It is a native to Europe and is often used in the production of absinthe, a strong alcoholic drink that was popular in 19th century.
Still popular?
Also used in medicine for digestion.
Interesting. So, speaking of Whomping Willows, Sasha just did
just like with a pedal on a butt.
Yep. My next topic is not really the plants that are sort of real fantasy plants that are real in real life, but I just wanted to discuss the fact that a lot of plants, there are a lot of trees in fantasy and pop culture. If you think about it, like you go to
Yggdrasil. In every...
Yeah, Yggdrasil. Yeah, that's actually the first one on my list. Like Yggdrasil, which is the tree that is like a sacred tree in Norse
the tree of creation.
Cosmology. The tree of creation, but also like, let's say in Thor, it is actually like a cosmic clump where it kind of looks like a tree and all the 9 realms are intertwined. It is also quite a major part of God of War game where Yggdrasil is used to sort of travel between different realms as well. And what I found interesting about those two particular... also, and another one is the Tree of Souls in Avatar. Which is...
Awa.
Yes, which is, again, it's another tree that sort of connects you to everything.
Within everything living.
So that was one aspect of it, that the trees are, that like they are intertwining different things together, which I found quite cool because it is related to real life as well. Because you know how we use, let's say there is a family tree, which kind of intertwines everyone into one family. Trees are used in a lot of like spiritual healing sort of processes. But also another thing, which is related to your whooping willow as well, is the trees are symbol of power in a lot of movies and games. Groot, let's say.
Yes.
Yeah. So his scientific name, I'm doing air quotes here, is Flora Colossus from Planet X.
Flora Colossus, just because big flower.
Yeah.
No, not Flora is a plant.
Again, hint to one of our other ideas is actually deciphering Latin names of different plants. But yeah.
Well, it's kind of cheating if you have been doing a bit of Latin prior.
Yeah, but still, it would be cool to just see how a specific plant, because it's described that way, whether its name is actually true to what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like the Groot, you know, the powerful creature that kind of has this regenerative healing factor, is superhuman. What the fuck?
He's very funny. Have you seen the Baby Groot episodes? 5 minutes ones?
Do you know that Baby Groot is actually not the original Groot?
What do you mean?
The Baby Groot.
Oh yeah, he's a sprout. He
was grown from a splinter, but it's not the original Groot. It's actually his baby. Call it that way. It's a Groot 2.
But it's essentially going to be. I would consider it being Groot just because it will be the same genetic material.
Well, you have similar genetic material to your parents as well.
No, similar, but not the same. But also,
yeah, but again, you don't know it because come on, it's Marvel Universe.
Yes, but also identical twins, they have a similar DNA, so.
Yeah, well, it's just like, because I was reading about it, and that's something that I randomly found. Or like the Ents from Lord of the Rings, the massive trees.
Ents, yes.
Yeah.
Not A-N-T-S.
No, E-N-T-S.
Yes.
Yes, they were, this powerful creatures, again, undead as well, like they can't, or not undead, immortal, they can't die. Yeah. So yeah, I just found it really cool.
I mean, they can die, they can be burned. They're immortal until they're killed.
Yeah. Or like Malorn from Lord of the Rings as well, in Lothlorien, the massive trees that were a part of the city itself, a part of Lothlorien. Yeah, but take it away with the Whomping Willow, because I'd like to hear about that as well.
Whomping Willow, a magical tree that attracts anything that comes too close. I'm sorry, not attracts. I'm an idiot. Attacks, because it is a bit of a bitch. There is no direct real-life counterpart to Whomping Willow, of course, but it was inspired by actual willows.
It does look like an actual willow, and I would say that, like,
it is an actual willow.
Yeah, in the wind, the willow can kind of become a whomping willow as well.
Several times I've been kayaking in Hagley Park through the willows. I can agree, it did hit me several times when I got distracted.
Yeah. Do you know the story about the whomping willow? Do you know? Because it wasn't covered in the movies, it was actually covered in the books. Do you know why the whomping willow is there?
It was protecting the entrance.
Yeah, but why? Why was it protecting the entrance?
No.
So the Shrieking Shrek.
Get out of my swamp!
So when James Potter, Sirius, and Lupin were... Ooh, more wine.
Seriously?
Yes. When they were in Hogwarts, I am not 100% sure on that, but I think it was Dumbledore who actually decided that Lupin should have an opportunity, because he was werewolf, he was bit by a werewolf at young age. He should be allowed to study in Hogwarts as well. But obviously, when the full moon appears, he turns into a werewolf. He turns into, the wolf. So what they've done is they've created the passageway to the Shrieking Shack, so he can actually go there before he turns and spend the night there. Do you know how it was howling?
Yeah.
So that was actually Lupin howling in the Shrieking Shack.
Oh.
And the Whomping Willow was planted at the entrance
As
of
a
the
guardian.
tunnel as a guardian, so that for safety of other people, so that nobody takes that tunnel to go there while Lupin was there.
But
Yeah. That's why I
Also-
freaking love the books. Like, so many things were just missed out from the movies. Yeah.
Also, can you imagine just like not knowing that the Whomping Willow is like, is it actual willow in front of you or Whomping Willow? And you're just passing by and then you are dead.
Yep, and it's like, boom, gone. Yeah.
Devil Snare. Real or unreal?
I'm pretty sure it's unreal, but I do think it is inspired by a real life plant. Ivy.
It is. It is that's what I'm actually wanting to cover. It is a magical plant that has vines that essentially just constrict you and kill you.
Well, they suffocate you, don't
yeah.
they? Mm.
Devil's Snare could be inspired by real life plants, like any strangler plant actually. It can be a jasmine, a fig, or ivy.
I guess the only difference with the real life plant is the light won't get rid of it. Because, like, okay, actually, I'm not 100% sure whether that was covered in the movies, but in Hogwarts Legacy, the game, you use Lumos to get rid of the Devil's Snare. Like, you just Lumos and you walk past it and it moves.
What Hermione used in the movie was Solar Stellare. So it was actual sunlight rather than Lumos, which is just light.
Yeah, well, I guess they used Lumos in the game.
Yeah.
As a source of light. Okay, I have one last plant on my list. Not quite a plant, but I think you have some notes to add to it as well, because you've watched the show, and I think half the world, or maybe even more than that, have watched The Last of Us.
The Last of who?
You're funny! Have you actually played the game?
I watched the game because at that point of time I was not really that available, so it was easier to watch the game.
It's actually a beautiful game. It's difficult. Well, I find it difficult, and also a bit creepy with like all the, not zombies, but the infected running after you. But cordyceps. Yeah, what do you think of that?
It is a real, and I know exactly what it is. You just said cordyceps, and I know that it's exactly what it is. It's a mushroom that...
It's a fungi.
It's a fungi that grows on dead animals, particularly on ants.
So, not quite. So, firstly, cordyceps, there are actually edible cordyceps as well.
So it's a variety of...
It is a genus.
Genus.
Yeah. So a lot of them are actually edible. Most of them are actually edible. In Asia, it is used in the fruiting body of the fungi, like the mushroom, is actually used in chicken soup, believe it or not. But there is a bit of a misconception. So the virus that we are talking about, the zombie ant fungus, that is the actual name of the fungi that affects the brains, well, the whatever is in ants' head. I don't know if it's a brain or not, sorry, is called Ophiocordyceps, actually. So it is a slightly different species, but it is still a fungi that does affect ants. And what it does, it will grow into the ant's brain, and it will make the ant to leave its colony and then find like a moist, warm place where it can multiply, the cordyceps.
Basically the most favorable spot for the plant.
Yeah. And I started reading about, well, no, not particularly fungi, but just the cordyceps and whether it is real to be infected by that virus, the cordyceps virus.
There was recently an article about the guy who got infected by cordyceps.
I don't think it was cordyceps. It was some other fungal disease, I think.
Fungi, not fungal, but fungi, like not disease per se.
Fungal. Fungal is a description of fungi.
Well, yeah, but when usually people talk about fungal disease, they think of something like athlete's foot.
Yeah, but well, because it is a fungal disease, and cordyceps is still a fungal disease. It's just a different type of it, obviously. But I know what you're talking about, but I have a feeling it was something else.
Yeah, it was something else. It was more described, like, not about the severity of it, but like how it expresses itself, I guess.
Potentially, yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like followers, if you know what I mean. I don't know what I mean, but it's fine.
Yeah, and I started reading about it, and the actual fungus can't infect humans because humans body temperature is too hot for it. But then you think about the series itself, and in the beginning they explained that the fungus actually adapted to the warming climate, so it started growing in warmer temperatures. So hence it became possible. Yeah, it became able to infect humans and do what it does to the ants. Which
also to consider the fact that yes, it grows in tropical areas and it infects ants, and the temperature over there will be probably the ambient temperature on a regular basis, like 25, 28.
yeah, but it's different from a body temperature still.
Yeah.
Because your body
Body
temperature
temperature is 36, 37.
Yeah.
So I don't see that happening anytime soon. It will take a bit of time to jump 10 degrees.
Well, I can't remember the time frame actually when that happened in The Last of Us, like what year it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it is. I guess it could be possible in the future. It could be, but yeah, all the science says that it's not possible.
All right. Sasha, mandrake.
Yes, I was waiting for it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it is real, but I don't know what the real plant does. And I don't know if it's the root as well.
All right. I will read a little bit at this point. A mandrake. It is a magical plant with a human-like root that produces a cry that can be fatal to those who hear it. Mandrake is based on a real-life mandrake plant, Mandragora species, which has roots that sometimes resemble a human figure. In folklore, mandrake roots were believed to scream when pulled from the ground, causing madness and or death.
Oh, so they used mythology again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where else there was a mandrake in recent shows that were released? It was related to magic as well. I can give you a hint.
Mythology, yes.
No.
No?
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Do you remember
sorry, shows, not our episodes.
No, I mean shows. Do you remember she created like a doppelganger out of mandrake? Yeah, which is quite interesting because again, it's the fact that mandrakes resemble humans, and then you kind of use the mandrake to actually create a doppelganger of yourself. Yeah, which I found quite interesting because I completely forgot about it, and then I was like, were there any notable plants in Sabrina? And yeah, the mandrake.
Mandrake plant, Mandragora officinarum, is a real plant that is native to the Mediterranean region and has been used for medicinal and ritual purposes for centuries. The plant has a large, fleshy roots that can resemble a human figure, and it was believed that the plant possesses magical power because of this resemblance.
That's really cool. Is that all that we have today?
I think that's about it.
You wanted to cover Monsteris as well?
I will cover it. Was it your last plant?
Yeah, that was my last plant, yes.
That is all right.
Cordyceps, not really a plant, but I thought I'll throw a bit of caveat about it because everybody loved, I personally loved The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I kind of had to grow to
like it? To like the actress for...
To Bella Ramsey's Ellie. Not because, I know that a lot of people got angry that she doesn't really resemble Ellie, which is a stupid thing. Yeah. Although Pedro Pascal did look like Joel quite a bit. But I don't know, at first, her acting wasn't quite there, but then I grew to love her acting, actually, because she started actually acting like Ellie from the series as well. From the game, as well. Yeah. Yeah.
I have written an article on Monsteris in one of the magazines, and it was quite popular. Well, not... Oh my gosh. Toot my own horn.
It was a...
I'm just happy that it was published.
Yeah, but it's a magazine that is kind of targeted towards gay men, is that correct?
Gay men, gay audience.
Yeah. I actually had a blouse through it. Yeah, it looks interesting how they use plants to cover...
It's a bit spicy.
It is spicy, yeah.
Yeah. Why I wanted to cover it is because Monstera had a great influence on different spheres of life. And it all began in 1800s when plants from South America started to be introduced into Europe as the houseplant, and botanic gardens started to develop. Yeah, it's just that Monstera covered a lot of different industries. For example, fashion. It is used in every print. It's on every shirt, on every hat. I have a hat with Monstera print on it.
There is something about the leaf, right? just because it's so like serrated, and it's just because it's a big, beautiful, shiny, sort of rich green leaf that I think people love. And also, I'm just looking at the monstera that Sasha has in his house at the moment, and see that shade that it's throwing on the door, on the white door.
Yes.
I think that's what people love as well, is the shadows that it's throwing. Actually,
Yeah.
actually, your monkey face as well on the other side is throwing a really nice shadow too.
Yeah, I have way too many plants, way too many monsters in my house. If you haven't picked up on
Okay,
that.
sorry for the noise. The little potato called, well, not little, a big potato called Rosie the dog just came to say hi to me.
Rosie, can you please go back on your bead? Come on.
We should show her to the audience.
At some point, yes.
She's a potato.
But yeah, I think one of the things why it's so popular is that the leaves bring an element of nature and vibrant green colors to clothing and make them popular choice for summer and tropical themed outfits. It is highly popular in home decors. Actually, talking about fashion, I have seen a lot of earrings, pins, and necklaces with monstera print on it, which is, yeah. I have no idea how many people just have that and have not even realized that it's there. In home decor, monstera plants are often used as indoor plant, bringing an element of tropical greenery to living spaces.
Yeah, I guess people love it as well, is because it's kind of like it's a survivor plant. It's very difficult to kill. You just literally water it and give it a bit of a fertilizer now
Unless
and
you
then.
completely overwater it or underwater it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is used excessively in wall art, as in prints, posters, and paintings. It's essentially like a very, very influential, I would say. Very typical for tropical expression.
Yeah.
It's mentioned a lot in graphic designs, logos, branding, marketing.
Yeah.
You will start to notice it after this.
Oh, honestly, I feel like you didn't need to start. You just keep noticing it, yeah.
And tattoos.
Yeah, Exhibit A is just there.
Exhibit A is me.
Yeah.
I think why is it was so popular and just taken world by storm ever since the first introduction is, as we have discussed prior, it's bringing the nature indoors. And with increasing urbanization of modern life, people are finding themselves a bit more disconnected from nature.
But also plants are becoming fashionable as again, because like back in the 80s, 90s, houseplants, especially having like a massive houseplant in your corner was quite in fashion, and that is coming back.
I mean, let's just admit that fashion is very cyclical thing.
Absolutely.
It just repeats itself every 30 years. So whatever we have considered being granny-ish, like in 70s.
I mean, look at both of us. We are wearing flannel shirts, and I'm pretty sure it was like in fashion. I don't know, back in I don't know what years. I am like I don't follow
lumberjack days.
Yeah, I don't follow fashion like at all. So I can't tell you. I just wear what I like and what feels comfy.
But yeah, I think incorporating elements of nature like monstera plants into design and decor and other parts just creates a calming and refreshing atmosphere.
I am surprised that you
finished the bottle?
Well, that as well. Actually, no, I'm not surprised. And also, I still have a lot of wine in my glass, so we haven't finished it yet. Anyway, I'm surprised that you did not talk about Audrey. Because when
I forgot to Google about Audrey, but I can talk about her for days.
Well, I was just Googling...
For people who don't know what is Audrey. Sasha?
I just wanted to say that I was Googling the plants in pop culture, and like...
That's the first thing.
The first thing that comes up is Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors. Like, the soundtrack is amazing. The production, like, even if you're gonna go to the shittiest production of Little Shop of Horrors, just go there. It's going to be amazing. It's gonna take you there.
Yeah, but so that plant keeps popping up, and obviously it is inspired by Venus flytrap. What I found interesting as well is in the Hogwarts Legacy, there is a plant, I think it's called Venomous Tentantula? Tentantula? I think.
Tarantula.
I think Tentantula, but please, like, don't throw stones at me if I didn't get it correctly, because, like, I play a lot of it, but I rarely read the text on the game. Yeah. But, it actually, like, spits, like, spikes at you, I think, but it kind of looks like the Venus flytrap as well, and a lot of like man-eating plants are actually
Venus trap. It's like it traps your Venus.
Yeah. Elbow?
Elbow, yeah.
Yeah. But I found it interesting because a lot of man-eating plants are actually inspired by Venus flytrap in different movies, series, games, and universes, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, Audrey 2 is actually in a Little Shop of Horrors. Audrey 2, it's not Audrey, it's Audrey 2, is the plant that was named after a crush of the guy.
Oh.
The guy have discovered the plant, and he called it Audrey 2, as in O of his crush, Audrey.
The plant ate him, didn't it?
The plant ate everybody, to be honest.
Yeah.
And took over the world, essentially. In the productions that I usually described on TV or online, usually it is a puppet that is on a hand. I was lucky enough to attend the production where Audrey 2 was presented, or rather embodied, by a drag queen.
Oh, that's cool.
That was awesome. It essentially, just imagine Ursula in a pot. That was Audrey 2.
Isn't Ursula the stand-up
Sea
comedian?
Witch. Ursula
so
is
the
Sea
actual-
Witch.
Okay. Oh, I would love to see that. Oh,
That was fun.
yeah, I think the show finished, hasn't it?
Yeah, it finished a year ago, unfortunately. But yeah, I think the guys who have done the production in Christchurch, that was awesome job.
Yeah, so if you guys think of any other plants from pop culture, from games, or from TV series, please go to our Instagram and join the discussion in the comments section.
Yeah, whatever we haven't mentioned, just throw it at us.
Yeah, and I think on that lovely note, we will finish this episode. That's a wrap on Two Tipsy Plants. Thank you for getting tipsy with us today and joining in on our plant-loving shenanigans. We hope we've inspired you to grab a glass of wine and give your leafy friends some extra love. If you would like to help our podcast, feel free to follow us so you don't miss out on our next wild and tipsy adventure. And don't forget to spread the word. Keep it green
And keep it tipsy.